Guys, welcome back. So for today's video, we decided to do a little follow on and basically addressing the poll that we ran on our Patreon channel. So last week the poll was decided that we would do players iron testing. So second on that poll was to test fairway woods more in depth. We picked out four. We're going to start with four that we feel are quite similar in performance. So if someone is thinking about, Rogue Sub-Zero, they're probably also thinking about M3, probably thinking about 917 F3, not the F2, the bigger head. So we decided to match up the characteristics as close as we could on the heads.
That's good.
Okay, so so we've got Ping G400, the standard one that's 14.5. We have the M3, the Rogue Sub-Zero, and then the 917 F3. So we had Matt do his thing, do all the testing with your own shaft, the Acra 275 M5, and we get some really interesting data. Yeah,
so we're calling these, I guess you consider them more of a player's style.
This would be the player's style. Maybe for the player who's looking for them slightly more penetrating flight, slightly lower spin characteristics. Something that maybe is a little bit of a backup to a driver off the tee, that type of thing.
And what makes this more of a player style? Is it the head size? Is it the face depth? Like what is it about it that makes it that category?
So the CG location in all of them, I mean, if Rogue's a perfect example, obviously, with the weight being further forward in the head rather than back.
That's this one here.
Yeah, we've talked a little bit about that in some other videos about weight placement and how weight affects rotation of the head and that type of thing. So that weight being further forward, we get less sort of tilt of the head, we get a little bit less rotation. So those types of things. So these share characteristics more similarly than the other heads we have in the drawers.
Gotcha.
Okay, so let's do some testing. Guys, welcome back. So that was some interesting testing. I have to say, went as planned.
Yeah, you were not surprised by the results as I was hitting.
No.
I've hit all but the Ping in the past. So they're all very different feeling clubs.
Yeah.
And they all look quite a bit different at address.
That's right.
The Titleist is like super traditional at address, which I think a lot of people will love.
Yeah, I mean, I know personally when I sit the F3 down, I love the profile of that one.
It looks really nice.
Yeah,
really nice.
I think just the slightly more compact shape for me when I see that on the ground, gives me the feeling that I can kind of get down into it. And, I'm not feeling like I've got an overly, cumbersome club head to get into the turf. So, no, I love the shape of that one. Very interesting in the flight of that one. You actually found that one very easy to kind of pick up and get up in there. It was your one of your higher launch and higher spin combinations for sure.
Very surprising to see those numbers because when you look at it, it looks like the face sits pretty high up off the ground.
Interesting.
Kind of looks like a little mini driver.
Interesting, yeah.
But was easy to make solid contact and elevate it, which I think people will find found very surprising.
Right. Exactly. So, running through the test, we started off with the Rogue Sub-Zero. Performed really nicely.
It did, yeah.
Being the kind of lower kind of spin head, I was initially quite surprised that it was our highest launch low spin combination of the bunch.
Yeah, so you would have expected to see a lower launch than what you're saying there?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely would have expected to see a little bit of a lower launch, but almost, just shy of 12 degrees in launch, 2900 spin. Second was the Ping G400. Very similar in ball speed, actually.
It was, yeah.
It was very similar, but it launched lower and spun less. Really interesting to see the optimization of launch and spin, when ball speed is exactly the same, 1 decimal point apart, the difference in being, you know, obviously about a degree, 1.8 degrees lower launch and about 450 RPMs higher spin, we lose 11 yards in carry.
Yeah, it was noticeable. The ball flight, it looked like it was going to kind of just keep flying and hit that green, and it would just kind of spin up and come a little bit short.
A little bit short of it, so not ideal to be kind of lower launch, higher spin on the ping one and losing some distance on that one. Not kind of ideal. I was actually really kind of happy to see how much it kept up when you hit it on ball speed. That's as quick as I've seen it. Oh yeah, I've actually seen it to be a fraction less ball speed, but the launch and spin didn't surprise me that it spun a bit more and that type of thing. So
gotcha.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So I mean, different characteristics for different types of players, I suppose.
I guess if someone has a different delivery than me, which many would, they may find a slightly different result.
Exactly.
But it's definitely the highest spinning one. The flight was noticeably a little spinnier.
Exactly. So onto the TaylorMade. You felt like you made your best swings with this one and your 100%. Best contact. The feedback from you was this one was you were hitting this one better.
Yeah, the feel off the face, nice and jumpy.
Yeah.
The ball flight, I think, looked great. I was happy with the height of it and the balance of spin and everything like that.
In kind of comparison to the Callaway, they were both very similar in terms of like how far they went, that sort of thing.
Right.
It launched a little bit lower but spun the same amount. I think that's where it was quite nice. The 10.2 degrees of launch, 2900 spin, 162, 3 miles an hour quicker ball, or 2.5 miles an hour quicker ball speed.
Right.
I thought was really an indication of how well you struck that one.
Agreed.
Which was really good. Nice little draws with it as well. So very good. Okay, last but not least, the 917 F3, similar ball speed to Ping and Callaway. Launch was okay, 11.1, absolutely fine.
Yeah.
Spin rate spiked up a little bit again to 3,300.
Right.
So we lost that 10 yards. Very similar, the Titleist and the Ping performed very, very similar to one another. It was really interesting to see those two.
Well, you've said with the Titleist drivers, higher spin can be thought of as a negative, but you get players that need more spin.
There's times when we're searching for it, we're scratching for more spin.
You get the player that wants a little bit more spin on their fairway woods, then go for this guy.
Guys, if you're out there and you're the type of player who's a bit of a picker, maybe even your angle of attack is slightly upward on the fairway wood, and all you find is that fairway woods fall out the sky. This is the type of fairway wood that's going to really benefit you.
Interesting.
Even the Ping to a certain degree. You mean that low launch, higher spin? If you're really catching it on the upswing, will turn out to be slightly higher launch and slightly less spin.
That's true.
So in the right delivery conditions, I mean, you're swinging that really neutral today.
Yep.
In terms of the club delivery, I mean, we were average angle of attack was basically half a degree up was the average. You were 3.5 degrees from the inside.
Right.
Usual we see from you. Nothing different today. That just didn't suit you all that well.
Yeah. So you get, as you say, someone with another extreme of a delivery would find maybe one of the other ones suited them. I think this is a really cool option for a lot of people. They'll love the shape of this.
Yeah, it's nice, isn't it?
And I think they'll like the fact that it looks like this, but it's not a rocket launching kind of super low spinning 3-wood.
And what we will say, guys, is that we're just testing these, at standard setup.
For sure.
And the reason we've done that is because the Callaway is not adjustable. So if we had the opportunity to adjust 3 of them and not to do 1, we kind of felt like that wouldn't be a fair representation and give them an equal opportunity to see how they all play. Now, that might be in a fit. That might mean that the Callaway might be ruled out because it's not adjustable.
Makes a huge difference.
I
remember when we saw them at the show, it was more of a feel thing. They wanted the glued hosel back for feel.
Yeah.
But for you fitting, I would imagine that the conversation can end at some points with this because you just can't dial it in.
That's exactly it. I mean, like you said, the feel of a bonded club. Obviously, the weight that Jailbreak had, they had to try and save some weight because they had to put Jailbreak into the fairway wood, so they had to sacrifice the weight of the adjustable cogs in order to put that weight into the obviously the 2 rods that bind the sole and the crown of the head. So they had to do away with it. I would imagine the adjustability might make a comeback.
You think so?
Well, they'll find some other ways to strip some weight back. so they need to wrestle about 8 grams of weight back from the head. So they'll work with some different materials and probably end up with some adjustability back.
We'll be testing the, what would you call it? We call them game improvement fairway woods?
Yeah, high launch fairway wood,
launch.
game improvement. You know, they kind of share the same category. You know, they're slightly easier to hit, that type of thing. For a lot of people, the longest, least lofted club that we hit off the ground is often a real challenge.
Okay.
So, you know, that's where, you know, we see some of these other heads that we're just about to test. And maybe I won't give it away just yet, but in that category is the best-selling fairway wood in TXG in 2018.
Oh, is it? Okay.
And not in any of these ones that we've tested here.
I thought you would have told me this was your best-selling,
No.
but
No,
okay.
it has not been.
So for all of us.
It's not even close. It's actually
Really?
quite overwhelming in favour of this other head. So we'll keep you guys in suspense for that one.
Yeah,
it'll be good.
cool.
Excellent, guys. Yeah, as Matt says, obviously leave us your comments, any questions. We might do. I'm thinking as we're talking here, and you know, you guys will probably be a lot of requests for some off brands, if you want to call them that. Some of the non sort of you know.
Not the big five, I guess.
Or certainly big four. Yeah, some of the kind of less popular, more niche brands. I know you guys love that. There's a lot of Mizuno fans out there apparently.
For sure. Yeah.
So we'll do some stuff with them. Wilson, I've actually been looking into a little bit more.
Many comments about that, especially the irons.
Well, you know, obviously Troy Merritt winning the weekend,
right.
you know, with a bunch of Wilson stuff in his bag, and I think it's worthwhile giving these companies, you know, a fair crack at the whip on, and that's what our channel is all about. It's pure performance. It's not about loyalty to any brand or trying to kind of enhance anyone's reputation. It's trying to give you guys the best information to make the best buying decisions when you're going about making purchases. So it's fair enough to grab those and give them a try as well.
I think that's great. Yeah.
Cool.
Look forward to it.
Guys, thanks so much for joining us. We'll see you soon.